The Dove Network welcomes you to the following presentation of Double Dropkick Podcast.
It's Tuesday night, Double Dropkick night, right here on the Dab Network. Welcome in, welcome in. Hope everybody had a great weekend, great week. Interesting start to the hobby week, as always. So glad that you are tuned in for a great discussion tonight. Is the belt hobby dead? Or dead to the Conmen? What's that mean? Well, we're going to have a discussion about that tonight. Wherever you are around the world watching live tonight, we thank you so very much. New Zealand, the UK, how you doing? Mexico, Canada, US, of course, Malaysia, Pakistan, Italy, welcome in. And Australia. Colin, that might be you. And if you watch this afterwards, we're so thankful that you're doing that as well. I know some of you watch this the next day because you can't stay up late with us. Maybe when you get your maybe a day off or something, you can join us live because you are a part of the show. This hobby is for you, about you, and about the belt hobby. A little bit of wrestling, sports gaming. And you comment and be a part of the show. We thank you so very much. You know, we just hit over 1,000 subscribers a couple weeks ago, and we celebrated our 500th, and we raced right to 1,000 afterward to get a belt giveaway. We're still going to give away another belt giveaway for our 1,000 subscriber show, so stay tuned for that. We'll have that coming up. But you got to be subscribed because only subscribers will win the prizes. We had an awesome show last time that we did it, so make sure that you're subscribed to the show to be a part of it, because when you do, you're a part of this community. And right now, go down and give me a thumbs up for that, and then comment, because when you tune in and comment, you are a part of the show. But go right down, scroll right down right now, and just do me a favor and give a thumbs up for this. That helps me out greatly, and we're appreciative that you're on. We got Picture of the Week coming up as well. Depending on how long the topic discussion goes with a panel that we've got, we'll have some other things as well that we will talk about tonight. Some stuff with AEW, WWE, their new topic of Evolve, their new faction that they picked up. Some dumb things that people say in the hobby are coming them up, but we'll cover up who said them and this, that, and the other. But there's some stuff that needs to be said about dumb stuff. And then Ricochet's little interview where he's the reason AEW exists. That was kind of interesting to me. When I heard that, I was really, guy thinks an awful lot of himself, man. But we'll have that as well. But hey, if you're new, join me over on X. I give away a lot of stuff over there on X, but this is right here, the Instagram account. A lot of people use Instagram today. I'm not too great on it, this, that, and the other, but we give away stuff over there and over there. So go over there on Instagram, Double Dropkick Podcast, and on X, DDK Podcast on X, DD Podcast on X. Go over there and check us out. Check us out, all of our cool reviews that we do. We do a different type of belt review here where it's top down. Look at all the intricacies of the belt. It's more about not how we got it and why we got it, but who it's made by, their work. The detail of the artwork, the look at the leather. We do a pretty cool and fun job over there. But also, hey, make sure you check out C4 Authentic Belts. They are the only one partnered with Crumbrine, giving you the best and only belt made by a silversmith, completely 100% hand carved, just like the original by the original, with a partnership with Crumbrine. The C4 Ortiz Crumbrine Big Gold by C4 Authentic Belts over on Facebook, and checking them out online as well. C4AuthenticBelts.com. Check them out today. Colin's a great guy. C4 Authentic Belts, taking you back to like it's 1986. He is a awesome dude and a good friend. And he does some great work over there, and we're glad to have him as a partner. And what he makes is outstanding, and you got to check it out. Also, check out the guys on Thursday nights, Spanning the Globe podcast, every Thursday night, 8, 7 Central, with Mark, Andy, Richard, and Ben. They do a wonderful job over there. They're getting trying to get to 500 so they can give away a belt as too. So go over there at Wide World of Belts Facebook YouTube page and check them out. Also on Wide World of Belts Facebook and on YouTube, Wide World of Belts on YouTube, and subscribe to them and check them out every Thursday night. This week's topic: it's going to be interesting. I'll just leave it at that. It might be there's some haymakers being thrown in the hobby as always. When hobby drama happens, it's just drama, and it's not just a lot of people say, oh, it's only it's in every stinking hobby. It's in life. I mean, people today can't even get along just because they have a difference of opinion on organic or non-organic. I mean, people just can't get along anymore. So but it'll be interesting to check out their show, Mark over there, and the guys at Spanning the Globe podcast. they'll do it up, and they'll have a good time. But let me bring on my co-host here. Everybody knows I'm EV Kip. And welcome in my main dog, my co-host of Double Dropkick Podcast, and a good friend of mine, Mr. Ethan.
Happy Tuesday.
What's up, buddy?
You know, I'm just hanging and banging. It's a Tuesday. It's been a long week already. It's been a long hobby week. It's been a long work week. It's just
Really?
been a long week.
What? What's the long hobby week? What have you been into?
You know, I think we'll dive into that because at this time,
easy.
At this time, you know what I got to do is I got to dive into the Voltron.
Oh yeah, you got to show your. Tell us about the Voltron. This is killer.
Pick this up, new toy day. This is the 50th anniversary of Voltron. This thing is a beast. It's about 11 1/4 inches tall. It's a solid 2 pounds. I mean, this thing is just a beast. Love my Voltron. It's comes with all the swords and all the shields and all the doohickeys. I mean, this guy is just beautiful. So, new toy day, always a good day.
It is. That what set sent you back $1,700?
No, it was about $380. It was.
Didn't you say you ordered that by rolling it over on your face at night, and you're like, "Oh,
yeah,
I ordered it."
I ordered that. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before.
I've got to use that as an excuse.
No, I legit have done it twice now. One time I bought a AR-15 muzzle brake, and somehow I even overnight shipped it.
Is that how you got the pink thongs?
I mean, I didn't want to say that, but since you brought it up,
you gotta load it up in your box. But what do you think about the topic tonight? It's going to be interesting with the people that we got on. We'll have some Facebook page guys. We'll have some leather guys. We'll have a complete discussion of the hobby.
There's a strong opinion on with some people if the hobby's dead or not, and there's it is dead for some people. Not gonna lie, it is dead for some people. It's dead for what you make it.
Absolutely.
For the panel we got on, I feel like we got an eclectic panel on that could give us all a different perspective of the angle of the hobby too. Because you go from collectors to other people to you'll see the panel, and you'll have a wide variety of opinion where we can kind of hash it out. So when people try to say that it's dead, maybe it's just dead for. I don't mince words, I don't mince names. And so for me, it's dead for guys like Carmine loves the hobby's dead. The hobby's dead. For him. Until some drama pops up, Carmine, it's true. Drama pops up, and comes Handyman, Carmine, doing a show.
Oh, you're just trying to start fire tonight.
No, trying to start fire. Definitely not. I would tell you can bring him on and tell him. I tell him this. It's not anything. There's
several people that have said this topic. So
yeah, but I'm just using the prime example from last night's show I watched. I think there's just a lot of egos and not a lot of sin. And I'm as guilty as sin of having an ego at first and whatever. I'm as guilty as sin. So I'm preaching from a perspective of I get it, I understand. But at the same time, like, we all gotta pump the brakes and chill a little bit. Let's just get some ass.
Well, when you get slapped, you can't decide how people slap back either. So
that's the other thing.
Let's get our guest in here. Let's hit DDK mode and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first guest in as we build up the panel throughout the show. He is a middleman with X-Men belts. He is also the founder and admin of Big Boys Belts. He is also a Microsoft geek and
a world traveler.
a world traveler.
West Coast traveler.
He goes to the bathroom.
East Coast traveler. I mean, this man personifies the traveling East Coast, just machismo dude, man. This guy's got more airline. He's drove an airplane. He's been on an airplane more times in a week than I have been in my life.
All right. Well, let's bring him on, and then we'll bring on our second guest, and we'll get to all the comments and everybody. Please welcome Nick from Big Boys Belts. Oh my God!
Do a little light reading here. Let's.
I have the same book.
Yeah,
it won't help you any.
It's a great book.
No, it's
from the pictures we've been sent. It won't help you any.
I know.
Valentine's Day gift from my wife last year. So,
how you doing, Nick? How's it going, man?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
What's up, Laverty? Yeah, man. It's been a while since you've been on the program. Andy Bulger in the house. It rocks. Richard.
Andy, hey, Richard, we talk here.
James. Oh my. Was that some of the haymakers? That was some of the haymakers last night too. Wrestling Bonkers. What's up, man? Welcome into the program. Glad to have you. Hernandez. How's business going there for you, Hernandez? How's it doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Hope your family's doing well. Hope your kids are doing well. Andy, how's it going, buddy? Hope things are going well for you. Christopher in the house. Being good.
I'm going to preempt it. Christopher, hello to you and your girlfriend.
Oi, oi, Belt Marks. What's up, buddy? With that we are. We love those belts. We love wrestling and the memories they keep with us. What's up? It is DDK time. Stone Cold in the house. Lane always matching it up. Natch.
Look at these ratings, guys.
It's
whatever that means.
What's up? I don't care. What's up, Vincent? How you doing, buddy? Hope you're staying warm up there in the north. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
You kill everything you touch, Talmadge. Everything you touch.
Especially after Gary's last video I seen, Talmadge, you're evil.
That's right. I did it also kill myself to kill the deputy. No, you didn't. Hey, Keith, what's going on, buddy? Welcome into the program, man. Hello, gamer. Glad you're in here. Glad you joined us. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
What's up?
Everybody, get up to the belt bar. Christopher Boyd. How you doing, man? Awesome picture there. It's pretty killer. And Michael, how you doing? Evening to you. Welcome into the program. Andrea, hello. Oh, man, she just to me. She didn't even say hello.
All right. I see how it is.
Yeah. Hey, Andrea. Good.
Kevin Blood. She got that Kevin Blood running deep. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Kevin rocking the blue. Absolutely. I'm rocking the Duke blue. We absolutely obliterated them tar holes, them cheating tar holes from up there in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, nice win, Duke.
Kevin, that intro was legit. Hey, appreciate it, Mr. Hernandez. Thank you so much. We try to do the best and give the best here at DDK. Canada, hello there. Hello, Mark in Florida. Watch out for the hurricanes. Jamie, Scotland. How you doing, buddy? That did not show up on. Interesting. Do you have a scrambler, or what do you call this? That hides your IP address.
VPN.
Yeah. You must have one of them, Jamie. You're sneaking in here from Scotland. Loch Ness Monster Country. Best right at Busch Gardens. Ohio here. How's it doing, James? Welcome in, buddy. Kevin, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. I feel like crap. I've got so much prednisone in me, man. I could fart and get angry. I'm 80 milligrams loaded up on prednisone. I'm just
I just did 100 milligrams of penazone earlier, so I'm good right now.
Foxhound, Toronto. What's up? Welcome in, buddy. Love that logo too. Tell us about Foxhound, what that means, the logo, what it stands for. That's pretty killer. Like that. Cool. I always like cool logos.
It's a rugby thing. Like, I don't know. I see that Foxhound. That just comes off as like rugby. Like,
look at that logo. Look at that one.
What up, GG?
BBB. Big boy belts. What's up, Gianni? How you doing, man? You've been in hiding. What's going on? Been in love. Hail to Pitt. Absolutely. They absolutely faltered with that Virginia last night. Not helping their NCAA tournament chances. Jerry, how you doing, buddy? Out here in Cali, family gathering. Hey, what's your name? We were going to have you on as one of the new somethings in the hobby and bring you on, even though you've been a part of the hobby for a little bit. We're going to bring you. He has his statement. We got some statements on Facebook that we'll read. So we're going to get all types of view from people. There's a EO from Ethan. Instant Classic Review. Check him out. David Babel, good to see you. Carl, how you doing there, buddy?
Going
Good
on.
to see you, CJ. I'm starting to read Harley Race's book last night and finished it today. Awesome. How'd you like it?
Speaking of books, shout out to MTS Comics. My comics came in today. I look
Oh,
forward
did
to
they? That was
reading them.
quick.
Yes, it did. Yep. Look forward to reading them.
He was on last week. Check him out. Cosplayer, leather guy, belt mark in the hobby.
That was a great show.
Norm's in the house. How you doing there, buddy? All the way over there in Malaysia. Good day to all. Love the Voltron. It is. It's, gosh, we grew up in such a good era. Drunk order, not sleep order. Hey. Let's start hard with Canadian guys. Woo. Yeah. That dollar kind of crashed here lately because of butting heads. The hobbies is dead because, just taking shots right out of the gate. I'll turn 50 in July. Now I feel old. That's all right. You'll be cuddles to me. The belt hobby is not dead. It's what you made of it. Make of it. Some other hobbies have slowed down over the years. One was the baseball card hobby, but now it is exploding again. All card hobbies are exploding again.
That is a good point.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Chris? Everybody's getting to know everybody, hitting it up. I was behind the comments. Slow at the moment, but good willing and restoning. That's the way it goes, up and down, up and down, up and down. You can get Phil, you can back up. It'll come back in. People are always buying and selling belts and moving. Natch, good. I hope you're doing great. Ben Walker, he's getting makeup on and he's typing us from the back. Man.
And Ben's always excluded from everything because he's the nice guy.
Hope he brought some good smokes for tonight.
Or some little Debbie's, those giant size.
Brought him from his TP. Can relate to my opinion as someone who got their first belt in the early 2000s, like I did. The hobby is more alive than ever. It's 500 times the size it used to be. That is a factual statement. Absolutely agree 100% with it. Come on, wish you did. Yeah, we know about them HBK poses there, Babel.
Right. I paid $5 to see that.
Yeah, I did. Richard, thanks for the reading. Hey, awesome. Michigan in the building. Like everybody telling us where to check it out from. That's pretty good. Fox Sound is Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool. And Gianni here, we're going to bring on our next guest and get into this. I've been traveling, working, just laying low, and I'm doing great. That's good to hear, man. Stay in it.
Right, good on you, Gianni.
Michael says, we're at the hobby border at the base, which gives impression of being dead at the top. It is not the real bell. It's just growing.
Yeah, and we'll get into this, but I think it's more economical than it is the hobby's dead.
Yeah. I mean, selling a belt is that's not all the hobby, selling a belt.
But buying, selling, just
awesome.
We'll get into it. There's layers.
From my mom and dad. Trying to be a comedian, huh? Do that on Thursdays.
I'm gonna have to work on my yeet for Vegas.
You going?
WrestleMania. Yeah.
Oh, you are.
Awesome. Welcome in. Now we're going to get into this. We got our main man. He is has done some middleman work. He's been in the hobby a very, very long time. He is one of the admins of Championship Belt Brothers. He is also a good guy in the hobby, one that you can always hit up and discuss things in your inbox. He is
a talker.
Somebody who loves the hobby, does a lot for the hobby. He's giving away belts from the hobby, mini belts his own, and belts donated. He did those. And he's also a host of Thursday Night Spanning the Globe podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program, Mr. Ben Walker.
What's happening? What's going on, everybody? What's up?
What is good in the hood, sir?
How you doing?
I guess. You all right? I'm all right, man. I hope everybody's doing well. Doing okay.
How you feeling?
I'm 6 feet above ground.
That's all.
Looking like $1 million.
5'9". if I'm
Uh-oh.
standing straight up.
Yes.
Nick's 5'6", so it's okay.
Yeah, but if I lay the other way, I'm 36 inches off the ground.
I think you read Nick's book there.
Yeah,
That's
right.
12, huh?
Hey, yeah,
Steven's
thanks for
got a
having me,
collab coming
man.
with X-Men.
Glad to join you guys.
Care to partake of what's going on there, Nick? Spill the
See,
beans.
that sounds like a plan. Yeah, we're working
Spill the
on it.
beans. Grandpa Ben, he is in there.
What's up?
So this topic has been shared around the hobby a lot. Probably within the last year, it has started being said, and then some people have jumped onto it. And I said, let's dive into this more. So for the past month, I've been doing some research, looking up statistics with belt sales from WWE, looking up statistics for belt groups and stuff. And then there's all kinds of websites that track all this type of stuff. That track engagement, even your group as an admin, you can go down and check your engagement, this, that, and the other. But people have all different types of topics and discussions of why they're saying it is dead or isn't dead. Some people lean it on that after COVID it died. No, COVID just had a much more engagement because everybody was living online, in my opinion, to that. So there was going to be a dropout from people, being engaged in everything and just having a whole bunch of time on their hands. But I wanted to bring these two guys on that run shows, that also run Facebook groups, and one's been a middleman before, and one is still a middleman now. So first, Nick, I wanted to talk with you on this topic. Is the belt hobby dead? So you run X-Men's belt. You're a middleman for them, and you've done that for quite a few years now, as well as running Big Boys belts. What have you seen the hobbies change? Has it changed? Has it grown? Are sales up, down, still the same? What's your take on this topic and how you've been working? First, let's talk it through X-Men's belt.
Yeah. So there's a few ways to look at this. If you're looking, if you're thinking the hobby's dead because people aren't buying and selling belts anymore, that includes replicas and bootlegs. That certainly isn't the case. I think on the bootleg side, let's start with that. Right? There's compression there. A few years ago, there were all these different makers trying to win business and trying to get their piece in the game. And I was one of those people who buy things and try somebody out and say, this is okay, this is trash, this is great. And then I try out a bunch of different makers. I still own belts from other makers. I'm looking at them now, but it's compressed. I think we all have our favorite three or favorite two makers that we like to work with, regardless of whether we're a middleman or not. And those that have been around a while are ones that remain. We've been working. I'll say working with X-Man for about 4 years now. So that's if you look at belt hobby years, that's like 40 years, I think. And we're looking at it. We finally refined what we're trying to do and gotten better. And we have an interesting business model. We have a limit per month. So I can't look at it and say, well, we had a really huge month. We cap it at 30. We don't want to do more than 30 because we don't want you waiting more than 2-3 months for a belt. We don't that drove me crazy, right? It's like, oh, you'll get something in 6 months. No, it shouldn't take that long. But I was just looking at some data here, and this year, our three biggest months ever as far as total belts, we hit the max, was April, May, and September. So April and May, I could say, because it's always like that, like every year, tax time, right? People get their returns, April and May, boom, you start buying something. I buy stuff for myself when I used to get a return. And then September we had a sale, so that's just weird. That's before the holiday, but we've done more. We've gotten more belts to people. We do a lot more customs now. So the overall the belt hobby and people who collect belts, not just wrestling belts, but custom belts or sports belts, it's crazy. You put on college football, you put on NBA, NFL. There's licensed product now. It's all over. Belts are all over the place. I had a guy come and install my new cable, and he's like, that's cool. Is that he looked at my belt collection. He's like, how many of those do you have? And I got like 75 total. I got another in the other house. I had some here. And he goes, how do you get those? And he goes, I saw them on TV. So people who aren't even collectors are buying a couple, one or two. For the crazy collectors like us and people watching, it's changed, right? Maybe you're not buying 4 or 5 every month, which some people have. I never really did that. But you're looking at it and saying, all right, I'll buy 1 or 2 a year. And now with the higher end product, we have our hybrid product. We have what we call 4K UHD. So we have higher end. Instead of buying 3, you'll buy 1, and you'll compress the hobby. So the products we're making are compressed and the makers out there are compressed. So it's getting, maybe it's not as broad and as vast, but people who are stuck with it and have been doing a good job, we're growing personally. X-Man we're doing as much as we've always done. We used to have one raffle a week. Now we did 3 raffles a week. We're doing, now the one right now is open. So if anyone wants a raffle spot, go to the site. But we're keeping busy. We have a lot going on. We're refining our ways. I see a lot more leather guys out there who are doing great work. There's now a couple new guys doing restonings as well. So more people in the hobby, less fly by night makers who come in and make a belt or two and then disappear. And you're like, I never heard of that guy. I think it's just kind of compressing, which is cool. So
you say you cap yourself at 30. Are you capped every month? Just about?
No. No, we come very close to it. And the way I work it is when X-Man finishes one and we ship it, then it restarts, right? So it's like a rolling 30. It's not really 30, but we got April and May. We had so many. I said, that's it. We can't take any more because if you're running the risk of, we say not guarantee, we say 60 days, you'll get it within 60 days. We've been getting things to people in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So half the time of our date, but April and May were crazy this past year, this 2024, and I think it's going to be the same. We'll talk in April and May and June, and I think if the economy gets a little better, I think Ethan, you mentioned that if the economy gets a little better, people get the tax returns. April and May is going to be busy again. I just was talking to X-Man about that. So especially if we collaborate with Hammer, then we'll really be to the moon on that.
Yeah, so I think we can. I think we can all, and we'll discuss this as the night goes on. I think we can all say that belt buying is slowed down. But in my take, as I look at it, I was thinking, well, has it slowed down, or is there so many more? Or is there so many more belts that are getting out? Because you got to understand, these Pakistan guys are constantly putting out boots. I mean, belts, whether they're bad, whether they're good, and then there's flooding them on eBay and Amazon. I mean, 150, 250, and is it sales are slowed, or is there so many belts out there now that people are getting their stuff that you just can't really move it because there's so many more belts out there? As you look at when Classic Shields used to, when they were at the $1,200 or $1,600 mark, whatever, let's just say that, you could sell it all day for that a year later, plus sometimes even get a little bit more depending on what the belt was. Now those belts are selling for $1,800 and under because there's just so many out there of them. Ethan, what were you going to say?
Well, see, I think part of it is like Nick was saying, there's a shift, right? So you have guys like X-Men that are up in their quality. They do their work in a timely manner. You get guys like Pinfall Belts and some other guys that are producing HD quality belts now, and they're producing. I mean, price. Pinfall Belts, you can get an HD belt on American leather for $750, $800, which is absurd. But now, if you look at it, I think there's this weird kind of like thing going on because you can go to Classic Shields and you can get your phenomenal, one of the greatest belts you'll get, a Winged Eagle for $1,600-ish bucks. The quality disparage between some of these guys now is getting pretty thin.
Yeah,
to where an $800 difference is a huge difference. So for me, like, I'm a collector and I'm tired of losing money and trying to figure out a better way to put reviews out, give people information, and collect at the same time without buying about full price, but because the market's so compressed, if I don't like the quality or whatever, I have to sell it and lose money. So for me, like, what I'm doing is I'm working with a couple of makers right now that they're producing belts for me. I'm going to review them, give an honest review, put the honest review out there. We'll put it on DDK. We'll just put it out there. Look, this is what you're going to get for this price. This is the quality. This is that. Not a lot of the hogwash of, well, this maker is making it, but these people don't like this maker, so these people don't like this maker. No, this is just a flat, honest review of what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And for me, like I told them, if I don't like the belt, we sell it, we square the maker up, we walk away. If I like the belt, I keep it, I square the maker up, we walk away. No big deal, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
They get their money. They're insured their money. I can put a review out there, and it's a more logical way of going about it because your Pinfalls, your X-Men's, your Maximum Galls, all these guys are cranking out the product so quality, so fast, and just you have to figure out a smart way.
Yeah, they're also not trying to make $1,000 a belt either.
Yeah.
They've compressed down the margins, and they've understood that because of how many belts are getting in the market. But you said something that was really interesting. You said you're tired of losing money on belts. That's a key point that I wanted to make tonight. To the point where I was like, or is it dead to the Conmen? And not you particularly. Nobody wants to, when they sell a belt or refill up a belt, wants to lose money on it. But that's what happens in 99% of the hobby. And it's just not happened for the wrestling hobby until now because there wasn't so much of this belt. The explosion of getting all these belts really took off on just before COVID and right at COVID, to where because so much money was pouring in because of COVID money, people were buying belts left and right. Then Pakistan was like, oh, I need to be a maker. You need to be a maker. This is a maker. But people understand you're going to lose on belts. We all don't want to, but I think people got to understand that when you buy a belt, you got to realize you're going to lose at least 20% value on it, sometimes even more when you resell it. And what happens to the Conmen part of it is I think a lot of them that are out there saying it's dead to them to try to making money on it. Everything in life, you don't need to make money on it. If it's a business, it's that. For Nick, it's a business and a hobby. But there's some people out there that are trying to buy belts and then flip them for double, or as soon as a exclusive comes out or a limited edition, even though they keep releasing another 1,000 2 months later, and they're like, oh, I got stuck with 8 of these belts. They're trying to make money off of it, or they're trying to make money off the hobby constantly. I think it's dead to them because the market is just flooded with so many belts out there.
But that's the dark side. That's the dark side of, I call them the multi-men. Like Nick just works with X-Men belts. But you have other makers that'll get Jamil, Usman, blah, blah, blah. Muhammad. They'll have 15 makers sending them crates of belts. And at that price point, the 250 belt is kind of dead. It's
there's so many out there.
There's so many out there, and I can go to Nick and be like, Nick, I need this belt, and I need this way. I got $450. I can guarantee you can get it for me.
Yep.
I can go to Ben, or I can go to Pinfall. I can go to, and that's the thing is, like, for the, I don't want to call them conmen because they're not conmen, but for the opportunists that would abuse multiple makers at a time, that's where lot of the
we'll get into that point too, because I wanted to get to Ben on as we're, before we flip over into some of the other stuff. I wanted to get with Ben on the middle maker stuff too, because he's been one. But I wanted to cover this topic right here. Michael says the high end collection could come down, but could just easily stay up. A lot of high end collectors have taken their collectors and gone offline. I'm a high end collector, and some high end collectors stay offline, some buy offline. I think your Reggies are going to kind of hold maybe where they're at, and your Millikens are kind of hold where they're at, unless you're buying a fake one, and there is idiots out there that are making fake ones and trying to make fake ones. But I think those are But I think the high-end market for the CS and the ORMs on resale are coming down because you can find one out there. I tell people all the time, if you don't want the 2-year wait firm, or if the weight's improving from Classic Shields or whatever the weight is, if you don't want for that weight, you can find one out there if you just put out a throw, even if they're not for sale. You say, hey, I'm looking for a CS this or CS that, and they're out there, and you can get them for half of what they are new.
Yeah,
I wouldn't give them my money. Detailed pics of this belt. This is as quality of a HD Nawaz belt as you're going to get. The gold spot on, the artwork spot on, everything is immaculate. The paint's immaculate. Everything. Nawaz killed that belt. I probably wouldn't get more than $600 for it.
Yeah. And the Reggies have been, before Facebook with stuff took off, with these belt groups and stuff. And in 2010 and 2012, they were still going for $3,000 and $4,000 and $5,000. Their market has been held for a real time, and I just think that's a different standard to a high end collection. Just like there's different standards of the hobby, I think those are going to stay and sell what they are. Some of those belts, because of there being Reggies, are going to increase in value just over time because there's not any being produced anymore.
That's true. Yeah, Reggie's gone. Yeah,
but I think for the high end market, if you consider, and I do, I think I consider a high end market to be a classic Shields or an ORM, something like that, just because of you can argue with the price, or you can argue with their tactics, or you can argue with their wait time, but you can't argue with their quality. They do make a beautiful and spectacular belt. CS, and you don't have the long wait issue with it with ORM. There's no problem with them, and you've got a great middleman to go with ORM. But I think those belts are the ones that are kind of on the resale market taking the hit in that kind in that kind of realm. But Ben, you have also been a middleman and done some things and got out of the middleman game. What have you seen as far as this topic is concerned with how middlemen have, a lot of them have disappeared? And a lot of them have come in to try to take, and I can make money or steal belts and then come out and then get out. Okay. What is your take on the middleman process since you have been middleman and done it?
Well, it's very competitive, first off. But then you had a lot of undercutting. You had a lot of deception. The makers were on some stuff too. I can name a maker that tried to get 4 of us to sell for him.
Yep.
Oh, brother, you know,
that's right, Michael.
This maker was one of the biggest makers for a while, Mr. Maker of the Year. So the market is it slid, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped. It was getting harder and harder to sell belts because the market is so oversaturated. How many versions are there of the Dome Globe?
Yeah.
How many versions are there of the NWA television? Right. The belt Ethan got over his head, U.S. Luger. There's so many variations of the same belt, but you see them all in this market, and the buyers have become picky, and you have that right to become picky because you want what you want the way you want it. But it overall, the hobby's not dead. It's just it's gone into a different direction. A lot of it is custom belts. Custom belts have exploded. Nick could tell you. Nick could tell you. It's exploded. I just took an order for somebody for a custom belt yesterday to help them with the maker. But generally, middleman, I stopped doing it. People don't know. I stopped doing it almost 2 years ago. It just, I started seeing the forecast of it and was slowing down. It was becoming harder to sell a belt, and it's just so much competition out there. And I had these makers. Oh, I'll send you 30 belts a month. No, you won't. I'm not taking 30 belts.
Do you want to deal with that? No.
No, heck no. There's a middleman. Great middleman. He's got a big inventory of belts because the market is not there to move like it was 3-4 years ago. I always use this as an example. Remember, all of us had brass belts, or most of us had brass belts, and zinc belts was like it was like a special thing to have.
Premium.
A lot of us had brass belts. How many people order brass belts now?
We haven't had one.
Yeah, I bet you don't even take it.
I tell people
X-Men don't even say brass.
Yeah,
no, probably 2 in 4 years.
Right. The only brass you're gonna get now is the cast belts.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Zinc is the standard, but the zinc used to be I'm trying to think of the word to use. Zinc was like the upper class for
premium.
Thank you. It was a premium, and now zinc is the average. Soon it's going to be CNC or HD as being described. That's going to be the standard. And you start to see that price swing downward, because zinc belts used to cost 3 and 4 times more than brass belt.
And you're right, because you're seeing CNC belts now are kind of taking over the SD belts price wise. It's very comparable now.
See how that gap closed?
Yep.
CNC and just standard def zinc belts used to be that wide apart. It's like this now. They're right on top of each other. You better off just spending an extra $50, depending on the maker, and getting a CNC belt.
Yeah.
And it's up to that person's taste too.
And this is one of the guy. He designs and makes some of the best custom belts out there.
He puts them out there. You see Richard Simpson's work
Back
out
to the
there
Future belt.
all over the place. That's what he does, man. That's his thing.
Yeah, I did want to.
Do you still got my Ninja Turtle belt, Richard? I'm waiting for that belt.
I did want to say Richard Simpson has a GoFundMe for his daughter. He's had a lot of issues with taking care of his daughter. So hit him up about his GoFundMe and help him out to get his daughter taken care of, who is fighting a hard battle and in pain all the time, and help him with some expenses out. So we talked about it 2 weeks ago on the show and had him on. Check out that show. You can get all that stuff, but help the guy out there with that. I just wanted to say that. I'm all about to hit my 9th year in the collecting. It's not dead to me. No, it's absolutely not dead. That's why we're discussing this. I've had a lot of people hit my elbow. You think it's dead? No, I'm trying to just show this thing that it's not dead, and it's dead to certain people, and why it's dead to certain people. And then there's the people that I kind of agree with, that people are saying this part of it's kind of dead or this part of it's kind of dead. And that's what we're covering about. I mean, I've been collecting belts since the year 2000, and I still love it today as I did today. And Ben can remember the old days of logging on to Yahoo. I mean, you've got mail, and you'd go in them little chat rooms and wait for that little door to hear that door to open. Somebody come in just so you could talk about belts. It's not dead. It never will be dead.
Go away.
And a hobby is all about what you make it. You can make it your life and live online 24/7, as some do, or you can make it be a happiness and what it's supposed to be, a hobby, and enjoy it and post it.
Here's the question I'll ask. Here's the question I'll ask to anybody that says that the hobby's just dead. Then why do you have wall-to-wall shelves full of belts?
That's true.
If the hobby's dead, why do you have thousands upon thousands of dollars of belts strung upon your wall?
Yeah.
Let's give a applause to that right now. All right, man.
The belt hobby is just an extension of wrestling. We're all fans of wrestling, man. It's just an extension.
What were you saying, Ben? Sorry.
No, I'm saying the belt hobby is just an extension of wrestling. We're all wrestling fans.
It is.
It's not dead. It's like saying wrestling's dead. It's a major component of being a wrestling fan.
Yeah. And the other point before we get into the Facebook group things is what the commitment. We can bitch and moan about what shop is making or what they're not making or whatever, but they're putting forth effort. And now they're making belts that are more appealing to buy there than to go to booths. That is also taking a turn on what market is going wherever. There's going to be avenues of swings to where this part of the hobby is up, this part of the hobby is down, this part of the hobby is down. But in a general, it's still a hobby and it's still rolling. And what WWE has made a commitment in making better quality belts and listening to people, even though Fanatics is an absolute pain in the tail. They make some of the worst crap, do some of the worst business than they ever have, and I cannot stand Fanatics. WWE is putting in forth the effort and making the stuff. Now, some people, I remember, I think there was a comment about it, the people that complained about looking at that at Winged Eagle and, man, it doesn't look like that or Reggie. It's not going to. They would be stupid to have a Reggie made or a top quality belt made and then expect you to go into the shop and buy something that's low quality. Why would they do that? Because that would hurt their own belt sales. So they're going to use... We got an echo coming in from somebody. Let's see.
Nick, there you go.
Let me turn down Nick's mic. Hold on. There we go. Nick, are you muting yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, hold on one sec. I'm going to turn down your mic settings myself. Just don't touch anything. Here we go.
Hands off.
There we go. Damn, we can still hear it. What the heck's going on?
Did you get the echo cancellation?
Let me try to do that. X-Men always trying to screw up stuff in here. Yeah, his echo cancellation, reduce background noise.
All right.
I just hit it.
Okay,
better?
now
There it goes.
I got it. I hit
right,
the
Back
thing.
at it.
So what the heck was I talking about, Nick?
Sorry.
Shop belts.
Oh yeah, what they're doing has taken the hobby to a new level, and their sales over last year are up over 410% from when they first announced their business before they had this was from 2021, up over 400%. So they're not going to put a Reggie out there on thing when they're trying to sell their lower quality winged eagles. So that's why you saw that. But what they're doing has extended the belt market, and they're smart about what they're doing too. Is they're making belts now and designing belts that are harder to boot. And Ben can tell you all about that from the wing the belt that
It held to the knob.
Yeah, the one with the yeah. I mean, that belt is very difficult to boot, and if it is booted, it's just not done very well. And I think they've also hit a good market. Yeah. And this also goes with the resale of belts and all these Pakistan makers having all these belts for sale is you got with the WWE, I don't know what it's called, that when you can make is it shop pay? Is that what it's called or something? Where you can make payments on
Klarna, yeah. They give you different options.
Yeah.
PayPal, all kind of stuff.
Yeah. But as to the Facebook side, and we'll go to I sold all my belts 25 review, but yeah, and that's and probably understand why and what you're going through, but a lot of people do that, and that'll continue to happen throughout the hobby. That's another reason why it'll never die. But Nick, going to your big boys belts,
yep.
How have you seen it change? You've had big boys belts now for what? It's been 5 years.
I think it's almost 5. Yeah, I gotta look.
Let's just start. Let's just say in the last year when this stuff has happened, what are you seeing in your engagement, and how is your engagement going, and what would you view the engagement going in big boys belts, and how is it going in your group?
Yeah, I mean we're at about 5,000 members, and what's cool, we like to differentiate ourselves. There's a lot of good groups out there. There's Ben's group, there's Andy's group, and Mark Magridge as well. But our group, we went through from the beginning. We didn't allow makers. So when I went into these groups, when I got back into the hobby after I bought my first belt in 2000, so around COVID, 2020, I go into groups and it's all these people trying to sell me things from overseas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, all right, what if there was a group where people, no makers allowed, and it's just collectors, and that's what we started with, and it took a while to build it up. But a lot of people now get in our group and feel that it's just kind of a safer place to sell something and not have 18 makers hit your inbox. You guys have been there, right? You're like, oh, I'm looking for this, and here we go. We always do rest in peace inbox. You say you're looking for something. Oh, brother, I make. We don't have that problem. You ask for something, and someone will say, oh, I've been in this group 3 years. I have references, and everybody kind of knows it's like a community. So it's pretty cool. And we've had, engagement is way up. We had to, hide the group when there's some things going on. So that kind of delayed some of the growth, but like we're at 5,000 members. We're chugging along right now. And I think, Chris and I have started it up, but we need to go live a little more. We've been a little busy, but we want to do live videos. We like when people a lot of people go live and do new belt days. You're welcome to do that. Tony Thorpe, you just did one. Thank you for doing that. I know he does all the groups, so we appreciate that. Tony's one of the best guys in the hobby. But he'll go live and he'll show off his belts, and it's something we like to see. So and I always say, I'll be honest with you guys, we always talk about, there's no drama, keep the drama out of it. Some of the shit's funny, I'll admit it. There's some funny people. I've blocked people and they ban people, then they come back with another profile, and it's like, geez. And then but the jokes are good sometimes.
Yeah. There's room for discussions, and so when I talk about drama, I'm talking about don't get personal. Keep it a discussion. Don't start drama, and don't down somebody's belts. Don't crap on somebody. If somebody asks you your opinion, give an opinion, but you still ain't got it. That's the ugliest dang thing I've ever seen. That's a piece of crap, and do it civilly. It's not a belt I like. I don't think the quality's great on it. Blah blah blah. If they ask you for it, if they don't. But there's too many people in this hobby that scroll past something and want to down on something on somebody's new belt day, and I can't stand that. I wanted to say real quick, hey, go join Northern Michigan Wrestling Society. CJ's group's got a good group over there. Let's build his numbers up. Support groups, support the good groups. I keep telling this to people, get your 10 groups and sit in them. There's so many groups out there that are run by scammers,
Yep.
that are run by Pakistan milkmen, faking that they are Americans, and they are just using it for data source to hit you up, to hit your inbox up, and to scam. And you've got to understand that, and a picture steal. So, mark your pictures, do your right things. But I always say, man, if you'll just stay in the right groups, the groups that admins stay on top of everything, those things, won't happen to you. But you said, your engagement is up, your things are up. I think you have gone to a very smart thing. And this is the other thing that I've talked about that a lot of people have said to me. And I think I mentioned it to you, and I mentioned it on a couple shows about, having consolidating where the sales are. So somebody comes through. I heard from, somebody said, that had a negative connotation to the one sales post. Nobody's ever going to go there and look through it. Well, when you're selling a belt, nobody's going to want to go through 13 pages to scroll through to find it for sale, because what happens when I'm scrolling, if I see something that's automatically 2 days old, I know I'm at the bottom of where it is, not even realize that a comment could have pushed it way up. But people don't want to people don't want to drag through 92 belts for sale every day just to find something else or to look through for something sale. I think it's the best thing to do to have a single page dedicated, whether it's even every day, you can have one. But somebody goes right there and you can easily scroll through that and see what's for sale. You don't have to be bombarded with looking through the comments, and you go right to the point. It keeps it easier for the admins to be able to monitor it, police it, and to know what needs to be taken down when it doesn't need to be taken down, and knowing who's posting it and it's not a scammer. Because when you just opening it up to everything, things get wild. And I also think it's smart to do for, if you have makers in your group, make them go and only makers things. Because that way, if you find somebody that's in your regular sales things that turns out to be a maker, you've caught them in their lie, their fake profile, and you can boot them and you can let other admins know. But that's just a separate thing. But you say engagement in Big Boys belts is way up. And how's it gone for you in the hobby since you've changed that? Because I've noticed that you guys did that and are sticking with putting all sales and things. How's the feedback on it been?
Yeah, I mean, that, Kev, I hand it to you for that idea. It's a very smart thing to do. Some people, not everybody's happy. Everybody's like, oh, I got to do this now. Like, look, it's just, we use, we say the single place to find it. I do it every Wednesday at noon. So it's tomorrow. Wait, what's today? Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow at noon, a new one will be up. I try to pin it in the comments, and there you go. You can do it. It's easy to look. Use the search feature, guys. Type in Winged Eagle. You'll see Winged Eagles for sale. You'll type that in. You'll see them all. You'll see that within that post if you don't feel like scrolling through it. Or if there's an old one that'll come up. But good idea. Not everybody loved it, but it's for the best, I think. Especially because the group's so big now, right?
Yeah, and as an admin, you can set that and a schedule, and it goes every whatever, and you can schedule it, and you haven't got to. You don't have to touch it again.
Yeah.
Ben, we know you're the main face of CBB for a little bit. Since Jermaine, we hope Jermaine gets back involved in things, and hopefully he will soon. Hey, shout out to him. But how are you and your admins have viewed your group? And you've made a lot of changes in this belt hobby on your group over time too. What's it's been like for you the past year, 2 years? Have you seen a decline in your group from memberships to things going down to post? Give us your take on your belt group and championship belt and how things have been going on there.
Especially when I give away free belts. God,
where you blew up.
Oh man, I've never had 200 entries before. But other than that, our engagement stays pretty consistent. We have a good group of guys that contribute to the group. Conmen in the group. Nick's one of them. Ethan's one of them. You're one of them, Kevin. And just we see it. We look at the numbers from time to time. We try to monitor who tries to get in the group. We have somebody right now who's kind of questionable. So he's sitting right there in the holding cell until we decide to either open the door to the the main yard or close the door and send them somewhere else. But we pretty much try to we lean on each other. I may ask one of you guys, hey man, you know this guy, you know, what's the deal with them or whatnot, and keep it within us to help each other out. Yeah. But our engagement usually stays pretty consistent. Years ago, I funneled all the for sales into the sales posts, and I even give the group 2 a week, one on Tuesday, one on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
If you we put the group on post approval a few years ago. It used to be an open post. We put it on post approval. Since then, we don't get the volume. Now the comments get kind of slippery and everything, and we'll either catch it or somebody will report it. We got a lot, we got a lot of people that police the group. And they like it. They like to keep it, keep it drama free, sucker free. This, like we say all the time. But our engagement is really consistent, pretty good, really good. We're not at a high number of members. We usually hover around 35 to 3,600, 3,700. And then we'll go through and do a make a sweep because, like you mentioned, they sit in there and they hide. And then we find out who they are.
Yep.
And then, we'll go through and, this guy is kind of a troublemaker. He's got to go. And then I get that, why did you kick me? Well, I can kick you if your name was Nick if I wanted to. I don't have to justify. Us admins don't have to justify why we remove somebody.
That is true.
We don't. I always believe that. I don't have to tell you why I removed you. This is a private group.
Yep.
So we set the rules and we do it to try to protect and keep it peaceful and keep it interactive. So yeah, our engagement is really good. I try to mix in every once in a while, and the other admins do a great job watching that group. I don't do a lot of the admin stuff as people think, they perceive. The other admins are real active in doing everything. We all share as a team. We're one big team. So that's basically what I can tell you about as far as engagement. We are pretty engaged.
I think you said a great point there when it comes to, I decline more in a day than I approve in a week.
Yeah.
Getting in these groups. And, the criteria that people understand when we take down a post or we take down something, it's not personal at all. It's to protect the owners of the group. There might be a certain word in there, or you might have forgot the certain rules. And when you post something and you tagged a website, which is promoting, say who you want to, just don't tag certain things, this, that, and the other. And if we take down something, it's protecting the group, because when you tag certain groups, Facebook algorithms have hits on those, and then they come in and they start deleting stuff and deleting post sales, and we'll get a notification that says we deleted your stuff because it was
community standards.
We don't see it.
Yeah,
we don't see
it.
We just got hit.
We just see the WWE
over WWE belt.
I didn't know what it was.
That slipped through.
And that'll happen. And that's why we take caution into who we let in and who we don't. So when we remove something or remove a post, it's not personal. It's to protect the overall of the group. If we ask you to tag or do something a certain way, it's not against you. It's not. There's so many people that are and it's in a world in general thing. You say something to somebody and they immediately want to fight over it.
Yeah.
When at Wide World of Belts and some of the other groups that I'm admin in, and I know these guys do. I click on. I don't click and let you in. I look at your profile. How long you've been in? Do you do wrestling? Have you been on Facebook at least a year? Are you active in other groups? Is your name registered to you? I look who likes your pictures, because when you see those likes, if you see this name's Bob Smith, and all of a sudden you go to his thing and it's Ting Town Hall or Wing Down Bomb or whoever, and they're from completely different areas, and that's all it is. Something's up with that. And it's done a certain way. And sorry, you belt makers have, if some of you good or bad, then tell your other belt makers to stop, using and getting in the groups and not sharing it. If you're a smart belt maker, you'll just post posters of your belts. People will come to you and message you that way. But when you use it to cold call stuff, because we have a rule, if somebody cold calls somebody in our group and you let us know who they are, they're gone. We don't allow cold calling in a group. But if you're smart, and there's a couple smart belt makers that'll come in just showing off a belt and they'll show a picture of it. That's all you got to do, and they'll come to you if you do it the right way. But as far as us, and I know they've talked on their groups, Wide World of Belts, our engagement is up 122% just this month. 62% for the year. It is up 310% for the year as far as comments. It is up on post 22%, and it is up on membership 11% from this time last year. So the belt hobby is not dead at all. In these groups, people are posting. We ask people to post all the time. I don't care if it's the same belt. Take different pictures of it and post it. And that's why I fought and asked other admins and said, hey, I'm getting people come to me saying, well, I share, but nobody ever likes it. And nobody likes to post nothing and not get a like. That's part of it, wanting to share and to talk about it. And that's what I said, hey, we need to, because of so many belts out there now, I didn't have to be used to. But now that we've got a bunch of all these belts together in a sales post, it keeps the engagement up because people see other people's posts. People see people's questions about wrestling or their figures or their other stuff. And that's what I like to see. The sales, I think, to me anyway, is a small part of the hobby, because there's your belt pictures, there's your favorite belts, there's looking at your belts, your new belt days, you're taking them to wrestling events, you're talking about belts, just because, sales right now are down on belts, which I believe it's not just because of all of the economy or people not having money. It's so many belts that are out there. There's just so many belts.
It's oversaturated.
Yeah, it's completely flooded the market. That's why everything's down. And that's what happens. And it may take a couple of years for that to reel back in to where the prices can go up again if some of these Pakistan makers go away by flooding the market with stuff. But I certainly don't think that the belt hobby's dead. Ethan, you're one that's engaged in groups. You're one that gets on groups. You're one that's involved in groups and posts stuff. And you're the host of the show. What has your engagement been, and what are you seeing out on these groups when you go in them?
No, that's why I definitely disagree with it's dead. But I do believe the economy plays a factor in the belt hobby. The belt hobby, there's a good section of the belt hobbies to buy, sell, and trade. It's the thrill of the hunt. It's are you wanting to redo your collection or whatever like that. So I get that aspect of it. So like for me, I've redone my collection 5 times now. I had at one point I was wall-to-wall shot belts and 5 different color intercontinental shot belts, spinner belts, and blah blah blah. So it's a lot of different things, not just one thing. But as far as saying it's dead or it's no, I think the engagement there. I think a lot of new people, like you said, like Nick was saying, a lot of new people are coming to the hobby just by the curiosity of, hey, San Francisco 49er championship belt, Duke belt. You're going to get a lot more of that engagement, and if people were smart, capitalize on that. Have X-Men, man, have X-Men, have a premium Niner belt or Jets belt or whatever belt out there, and pull that in. But with everything else, I think it's misery loves company, and people just want to see other people unhappy when they're unhappy. So they put that number on it of hobby's dead, and it's never coming back, and it's just So I think that's the majority of it. Ebbs and flows of things are going to happen. Everything else, I think, is just it'll work itself. It'll pan itself out because right now we're in the flood of belts. In a year from now, Pakistani makers, half these Pakistani makers are going to be making some other products. And then a year from then, they're going to be making some other product. So just ride the wave.
If you think they only make belts, you're crazy.
Right.
Yeah. Ride the wave and just
knives. Right. Knives.
everything. Guns, knives, wives, lives. Everything. So they'll make whatever you need.
Wives? Where? Wives?
But I think that's where it is. It's just it comes down to an individual and what their perception of what the hobby is and what it is to them or what they've used it for.
And why do you think? And I'm going to go around each one of you here, so I want to get everybody's perspective here. Then I want to share some people that have sent me messages about stuff that wanted to come on and were going to be a part of the panel but couldn't. But what do you think? What's the motive behind somebody saying, "Oh, this is dead, it's done," and continually saying it?
Misery loves company.
It's money.
I think it's perspective, right? If you're like, there's things I used to collect, right? I was into baseball cards, right? That's dead to me. And I'm like, oh, the baseball card hobby must be dead because I'm not in it anymore. I'm not that important. And I looked into this because Chris Stratton collects a lot of baseball cards, and he's like, bro, remember baseball cards when we were kids? It's bigger than it's ever been. I think somebody mentioned that in the comments.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought that shit was from years ago when we were kids. He goes, no, you have no idea. There's ones with pieces of uniforms and all these things and very elite ones autographed. So that hobby's changed, right? If you're not in it, it's dead to you. Or if you're not as active as you are, it's dead to you. But this overall, the hobby itself and WWE as a business knows that belts is the next big thing. For me, looking at X-Men belts and BBB, it's bigger than it's ever been. I think you guys just stated that. So it's all perspective.
I think there's a weird.
It's not right. It's saying it's lesser for me. That's what I would say. The hobby's lesser for me.
I think there's a weird kink with people though, like that want to make it seem like it's lesser than it is because they feel like they've achieved a status of collecting.
Ooh, interesting take. Build.
Your collection's done. It's dead. No.
Yeah, really, I've achieved this. I'm a Reggie American collector, and everything else is beneath me, and that's all that it is now. And so there's that spin on it too.
The elitists, yes.
That
I know
what it is.
And their point for doing that is what? To discourage somebody from what are they getting behind saying
discourage? That? It's to pump. I think it's more of an ego thing.
Yeah, it's ego. Yeah.
Because what do you do when you're already the best? I'm a Rolex wearing, champagne drinking. Jet flying. What do you do when
I don't have mine?
You can't achieve. There's no more pinnacle to achieve in a hobby. You're the top of the hobby. You're the top niche of the hobby. So you drum everybody else down.
It's not a competition for us. For you, I know you guys pretty well. We just have fun, enjoy it, talk about it. Bullshit.
I buy what I buy. I buy what I buy. Right.
I got a Nawaz that I bought for $250. That's autographed by Animal. Love it. I'm looking at it right now. I mean,
how long have I been trying to get that CNC Mayon back from you for the CNC television?
No chance, man. No chance.
Right. Don't give him shit back.
That's in my weight room, man. I look at that when I do my bicep curls, buddy.
Glad you think of me.
Yeah.
Ben, you were quick to be like, the ego part of it. I think
it's the ego thing, man. And there's some people in the hobby that will try to throw materialistic things in all of us on all of our faces. It's ego trip. That's not even part of it. But it becomes an ego trip. It becomes, people use these things as a status symbol. Some people think I'm better than you because I own this, I own that. You see that. Most of us are not like that. but you're gonna have that anywhere. The Air Jordan market, perfect example.
That's worse, man.
Oh yeah. You guys think belts are bad?
Yeah, I ain't touching that shoe crap.
The Air Jordans. Oh, it's got a crease, stuff like that. So when I'm part of the Air Jordan, I don't have many anymore, but I had in the past. But I can compare that to the belt market, the belt hobby, and it's not even close. It's not even close.
It's much bigger. We're a niche within a niche.
Right.
We're like
the Jordan, but trust me.
To judge your character or place a status upon yourself over a hobby, over people that maybe aren't as fortunate as you, or maybe they are more fortunate than you, because you're placing an intrinsic value on a object that, in the grand scheme of things, when you die, nobody's going to give two shits about. So for me, when I look at it, when I die, I'm leaving my kids. I'm leaving my kids better off than I ever had it. I'm leaving my wife better. I'm not leaving my wife. I'm leaving my wife, hopefully at least happy. I'm leaving, some people better than I found them. And then that for me is way more of a status symbol than a belt that's gonna tarnish, get chucked away, and not have any value when I'm gone.
Right.
Well, but that's the thing, is people don't have this perception. U-Haul never follows a hearse.
That's true.
Right.
But people collect for other people, and that's never been me. Like, I like cars. I just got a new car. I got it for me because I love it. I love it. Every time I think of it and I drive it, I'm like, this thing's insane. It's awesome. I got these belts for me. Nobody else. My wife thinks I'm weird. Half of my friends, real world friends that I hang out with, are like, this shit's crazy. Stop. And then I tell them, well, I got the X-Man thing, so it helps pay for that car payment that they think is cool. Like, but the car's for me, the belt's for me. I don't give a shit what you guys think. I love you guys, so I do care a little bit. But it's for me.
You're a Jersey guy. I got to get you to go to J&S Auto, J&S Mitsubishi in Jersey.
I'll go see George.
I need you to go see. I need an autograph. I love that guy. I watch that guy on YouTube every fucking day.
I'll take a ride. I drove right past it. I picked my car up right outside of Philly, and I drove right past there. I was going to stop. But,
that's awesome. Yeah. I watch that guy every day on YouTube.
He's fantastic.
All right. Easy, guys. This is a belt hobby.
Sorry. Okay? I digress.
Get a room.
Now, the thing that I wanted to get to is, everybody's been asking, what do you mean by the Conmen part? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? What do you mean? I've noticed, and I'm going to be perfectly blunt and perfectly honest. There's people that get into hobbies to make money and to con you out of money and to say anything and to sell you a bag full of to make money. Okay?
Like that Usman's like a Reggie?
No.
What? Yeah, it's shocking to people. And when a community grows, the eyes on it grow. Mm-hmm. When a community gets aware, awareness grows. When you have proper groups run themselves, people flock to them and stay into them and get out of these bad groups. As I said before, there's groups that are dwindling, and I looked at some of these groups that are having problems because they're getting constantly called out, and thankful for these scammer pages, report scamming pages, report problems. I'm proud of those 2 pages that we got out of the community. We could have more if we wanted to. But share those experiences and problems that you have. But that's where it's taking a hit. These con men are saying it's dead to other people, and they want to say it's dead to others to try to influence what's going on and control what's going on. There's people out there that want to be a middleman and to sell you a belt that's worth $150 for $550 just so that they can make $400, and not realizing, and Nick can attest to that, if you sell somebody that's the best quality ever and it's worth this, and when they get it, they're going to realize when they look at other pictures, you sold me a load of crap. This belt was probably only a $300 belt, but yet I paid $500 for it because you wanted to make more. That's going to hurt your business. And when I talk about the hobby is dead to the con men, there's people out there that do no posting, that do not engage in any of the groups, that do not do anything with shows or trying to be on. They only want to start stuff or sell stuff or be a part of the hobby to make it a business. It's not a hobby for them. And it's dying for those people that are saying that, because people are wising up, people are getting in the right groups, people are sharing the right information, and people aren't buying their load of bull crap anymore, and people are being aware of their stuff. People aren't getting scammed as much. Well, I remember, man, even just before COVID, there was a scamming issue every single day. People are waking up to the right thing. People are using the right payment methods. People are using those methods to their advantage. People are using the scammers' pages to their advantage. People are using the admins and getting the voices out there when you've been scammed to blacklist these pages, to blacklist these groups, and to do that. It is dying for them. It absolutely is, because there's people out there that want to do nothing but make money. They only want to post when it's about them or to sell something. They only want to post when they're selling something or they created something new. Now, that's fine and dandy if you're part of the hobby and doing things and sharing things and liking pages and like things. That's why I say when you come in Wide World of Belts, yeah, you can post your belt reviews. You can post about this, that, and the other. But hey, be involved in the group a little bit. Just don't come in here to use the group and use the pages and use the people. Just like don't come in to always sell something. Be a part of the group, part of the hobby. But you got to be wise to that when you see that's a person that's saying that or doing that because they're only trying to sell. They're not really part of the hobby. I'll let you guys expand on that first. Nick, what do you think?
Yeah, we had this one guy, and he's been in a bunch of groups. I'm not gonna name him, but in BBB and some other groups, and he'd go in and he's just all about he's just selling, right? Always selling stuff, and then he would back out a deal. He wouldn't do it the right way. He'd say he got a deal done and then back out. People were complaining to me in our group, who've been in a group a while, saying, is this guy a scammer? And he wasn't a scammer because he would deliver, or he'd do asshole things, right? He'd say the deal's done, then a guy offered, he's like, well, I have the deal done, but if you offer me $20 more, I'll sell it to you. And they had the agreement. So I banned the guy. He's exactly what you're talking about. And you mentioned, and he's always asking to come back, and he's gone, right?
And say that again. Slow down on that again. I want that because that happens so much. Say that again about this guy again, because I want to make it clear to people hearing that.
Yeah, he'd go in the group, he'd put things for sale, he'd agree to sell it to somebody, and then somebody afterward would say, oh, is it sold? I'll give you $20 more, which, I mean, you can do what you want to do. It's kind of shady in my eyes. And he'd always take it, and then he'd back out of the deal. This happened to 4 people in BBB, and I'm like, what's up with this guy? He's always doing this, and he's always trying to sell, and he's always trying to pull something. So his references, he wasn't a scammer, but he was just a douche. So
welcome, King.
And then always ask for references, guys. Post, say, I have a deal going with Ethan Thompson. Anyone heard of him? And then we'll all say he's a piece of shit, obviously. But, otherwise, put them in the group.
I'm sorry, time out. Do you see, this is one of them. Does everybody see that they're dropping the names? You're proving exactly what I'm saying.
That's right.
It's dying for them because the community of belt hobbies has shared it, has grown. The scammers page. People see it. That's what happens.
Is that the coding side plate guy?
It's the Kid Rock guy. Yeah, your guys are right. Yes, I don't want to.
No, the Cody side plate guy. There's a guy that was trying to sell Cody side plates for the longest time.
I think that's him. Help me out, guys, if that was. But
I think that is him. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to give a shout out real quick before Nick finishes. So, King, welcome into the program. Glad of your first time comment there. Make sure to like and subscribe. We'll give away a belt soon. Thanks for being part of the program and commenting. We're glad to have you here, buddy. But go ahead, Nick. Finish what you were saying and what happened, and you did what to him?
Yeah, people. I had too many complaints about the guy, and I'm like, look, you're not a scammer. You're an asshole. You're pissing off people I've known and met personally. Sorry, Boston Gamering. You guys know, but I don't want to deal with the nonsense. Just keep it. Just do the right thing. Don't be a jerk.
Right. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ben.
I made you thought I was frozen, didn't I?
I thought you were thinking a dump. I was like, is he finishing in his diaper real quick or what? I mean, mine's full. I got to change mine.
It's I made myself forget what I was gonna say. I had the whole thing going.
What's up, James?
What's
Glad
going
to
on,
have you.
James? What's going on, brother? It's
Bells and bells.
remind me what the question was. Now,
I'm talking about the ones that have. When everybody asks me, what is the conmen part? I'm talking about the ones that use the hobby to just sell stuff without it. It's dying for them because they're finally being exposed. People are catching into it because the community is sharing more and more scamming interests. That's what we're doing.
A lot of the community, the belt hobby, have smartened up tremendously over the last 5 years. You guys, man. See, that's what threw me off.
People know, and that's just one.
That's our spread, right? You know, we all talk amongst each other, right? I needed some time, man. I needed some time. The guy's gonna try to turn it and try to tilt it and make it seem like that's not the case, but it is, and we all see it. And ultimately, man, we just got to keep trying to have that balance in the hobby. You know what I mean?
Yep. Ethan, on that topic of ones that use it for only, because you were in on it, and I wanted you to expand on that or say the same thing because many people missed when you first started in about who was saying the belt hobby is dead and why they're saying that. And then we've got a leather guy on here that I'm getting ready to bring on to talk about the leather part of it.
The belt hobby's definitely the belt hobby's definitely dead to the guys that would abuse makers, use 5 or 6 makers.
Yep.
Get 30, 50 belts, have just stacks of belts on your it's the Eddie Williams effect too, because Eddie was did the same thing, and then they play with these guys' money, you'd give them a little allowance and let them keep them on the reel, and they keep sending you belts. And so for that aspect of people, it's dead. And then you want the hobby to be dead for everybody else when you've achieved a level of status that you think you've achieved. And you want to make sure that there are people that understand that they're beneath you. And keeping people beneath you is it's all ego.
Status.
Yep.
And using these makers, and for whatever you want a maker, they're trying to sell stuff, and you got to understand that they're overzealous and this, that, and the other. But some of them are not scamming; they're just trying to sell. So you got to keep those two separate things. But they're still trying to support their family, this, that, and the other. And I'll go just as hard as somebody abusing them as anything else. And there's been so many people that have done this. And then there's so many people that have been accused of owing them money still, and then having to pay back that money, and then having to borrow to pay back, or to do this, or to go to this person and buy that off, or to say, okay, well, send me more and I'll do this, or I'll do this. They've buried themselves like the Eddie Williams and stuff for the things that they've done and the abuse that they've done. Don't do that type of thing. But it's dying for them because people are catching on. The people that do the legitimate business of middleman last and have done it for a while. Nick is a great one. Ben has been a great one. From ORM, Vincent is an outstanding one. Buck is an outstanding one. Dustin King is an outstanding one. And Dustin he's done it so well that Dustin has expanded on those great lights that we talked about here on the program, those wrestling lights. And now he's doing into the belt hanger stuff too. I think he's done. Or what was the third thing he's doing now? But maybe not belt hangers.
I've seen him post a Macho Crown today.
Okay, that's the smart middleman. But here's the thing: he may have been doing all that, but he's an admin of a group. He posts regularly. He likes posts. He goes shares. He goes on things. He goes on podcasts. He's an active in our admin groups where the admin talks with the chats. They talk regularly. That's the post thing to do, and that's why they last. These come by nights middlemen that don't know what they're doing, that fall flat on their face, are the ones that are their problem. Now, there's people that have been middlemen that have fallen out of it just because it was too much for them, whatever. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the ones that are doing things bad and going around to different makers, and they're with this maker one week and the very next week they're with this one, and we all know why, because they got $3,000 worth of belts and they're not selling them and they're keeping them. And
It's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, that's what's dead. And then they're also coming up with new things to sell you. And you just got to pay attention to that things because they're just using the groups and whatever. And it's not a hobby for them. So yeah, it's dead to them, and they're going to say that. It's because they failed at it. And when egotistical people and narcissistic people fail at things, they down it, they trash it, they say it's that thing and not them. They look outward instead of inward. And those are the people that you have to watch out for, because when they fail, it's everybody else's fault but them. But when you have bad intentions, karma comes around to slap you, and that's what being in a good group and a bunch of people work. And I do know people that went after Eddie Williams, and I gave people advice on how to go after Eddie Williams, and hopefully he's paid all that money back, but I probably doubt it.
I heard he's doing candy now.
Yeah, he's trying to probably do that, and I'm not going to wish anything down on anybody. But I hope he's done what he's not. If not, then I don't wish him any success on anything. Because what that guy did was one of the most egregious things in the hobby ever.
4 times.
There you go. Yeah, he was, and he did a big damage to that. So when new people come into the hobby, and we had a new person come into the hobby, and he was like, I was afraid to join these belt groups because people are, take your time with them admins, take your time with them good hobby people, and explain. It's all perspective and where you go. Don't go into the groups that are constantly posting drama. Don't go in the groups that constantly allow posting for shows that constantly deal in drama, or only do in drama, or only post about drama, or the guys that are constantly fighting about it, or downing your belt, or downing a post. Stay away from those type of groups. Go into the groups, and I've always told, the more groups that you do in, the more problems you're going to have probably. And ask around to the admins, or what are the good groups? Drop them down in the comments to know, and let everybody know now. We have Wide World of Belts. We have Love Those Wrestling Belts. Love Those Wrestling Belts is one of the best places to get wrestling news. I'll tell you. Well, one of the admins in there is absolutely fabulous, and I forget his name. Maybe somebody will remind me, but he does a fabulous job in that. Wide World, Big Boys, belts, Inner Circle, Belt Masters, Championship Belt Brothers. Championship Figure Brothers is a great group too. Go join that. Northern Michigan Wrestling Society. What is the
Scammers of the Belt for your scamming news?
Scammers of the Belt for your and we'll shout out to Guido's. Guido's is his scammer group. He tries to stay on top of it. Sometimes he goes a little bit backwards of it, but he's trying to do the right thing.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, and then there's what's his name? Terry that just got the Wrestling Belt Club, who just got over there. So drop those if I forgot someone of you. I'm sorry, and then support it all. Support all these shows. Support all the podcast. Eddie did. Yeah, he did. Oh wow. Can you elaborate on that?
He did a lot of
damage to everybody. Oh wow. Yes,
that guy's blood trail can go around the earth 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah. Yeah. But some people might not have it, and if somebody wants to allow them to do it, I usually don't do unless I know you well. But yeah, it is kind of crazy. But I can see the people that take advantage of the ones on the shop things, especially for some of them. But if you don't get one of them shop belts that are limited edition, trust me, if it sells well, they'll come out with another limited run of 1,000. Just wait. Don't let those people double your price. Now, if somebody wants to make $200 on a belt or charge whatever they want on a belt, that's their business. But if you're mad about it, keep it to yourself and just wait next time. It'll come down. Trust me, it always does. All those signature belts that have come out and people were paying and then all of a sudden they were mad that they paid triple for it, and then WWE released another set of 1,000 of them. Yeah. You think WWE's not going to say, "When we sold out of that fast"? Do you think they're not going to capitalize on that again? They'd be stupid as a business not to do it again.
Remember the Ric Flair belts from a few years ago?
Yeah,
they kept re-releasing that one.
Yeah.
With the rope?
The blue one, the not the one that they had the one that came with the robe.
Yeah.
And then they had the one that didn't come with the rope.
Oh yeah, that was a big gold. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that flare belt.
Releasing.
Yeah, it kept releasing. It kept releasing.
How limited.
Yeah,
right.
And we're getting ready to invite a leather guy on here because I wanted to talk about it. But Deuce can speak on he was supposed to come on because I wanted to ask him about, look at the belt hobby exploding on Instagram. The last year, it has absolutely exploded on there. And a guy that we had here, King Coley. Look at and look at Stephen Hammer and all those. Look at Deuce. Look at all these subscribers that people are getting on these belt review pages and the belt things. It's active and it's wild and it's still growing because people still want to see it. Even though I might not want to buy a CM Punk spinner belt, I still want to see it up close. I'm still interested into it. I'm sick of spinner belts. Can we find another design to put it on? But everybody like and subscribe. This is a new guy that's not commented before. Welcome, Big Mola. I saw your Mula. Saw your comments before. Welcome to the program. Hopefully you're liking, subscribe, and keep coming back every Tuesday night. What would be your guys' opinion on selling limited number PLE belts? Is there really a ridiculous or whether it's secondary market falser? I think that's you and your opinion. I'm never going to down it. If you've got 1,000, you paid 1,000, you set it for 10,000. That's your business, and I'd never rock you on it.
If it moves, it moves. If it sits, it sits.
Because that's exactly it. Because you'll know yourself. If it's sold, then you know it. But if you have to bring it down, that's on you. But I'm not going to down anybody for asking whatever they want to ask. I am going to down the people that are constantly in it just for that because they're trying to make a buck, and you got to watch out for those people that are, you wanted a belt for your child and that idiot ended up buying 10 and you didn't get one because this guy is doing that. I'm a little suspect on that, but whatever they want to charge for it, you guys can speak up on that. That's your business. That's capitalism. More power to you.
Yeah, I got a couple of the Punk belts. I did raffles for them. So you can get the belt for 25, whatever, it's $26. So, I mean, I put it in the group. You get a chance to get it. That's what I like to do. I don't really sell them, but
Christopher, that's that. I hate that too when you're cold calling into groups. Now for me, it's okay because I do it on the show. We have DDP. So everybody stop. Oh my God, I did that. No, hit me up. We have a platform. We do DDK belt bar where we show belts for sale. That's fine hitting them up for me. But yeah, don't cold call people that you don't know trying to sell a belt. It's not wise. They'll all see it in the group. Trust me. You got 5,000 members. People will see it. 3,000, 2,000, 10,000. They'll see it. And also, what's a wise thing? If you're selling a belt, take good pictures. Stop having sex in your bed and then laying the belt out on your nasty sheets and taking pictures of it. Go outside. The smart thing is, you ain't got to sell it real quick. Post it up in a bunch of groups, some beautiful pictures of that belt. Share it first. Get man, that looks great. A lot of thumbs. And then when you sell it, I saw that belt. I wanted it. It looks so good. Outdoor pictures in sunlight. Do some things with your belts. Just not lay it there with your nappy underwear in the background and your stupid sitting on the table and selling your belt. Have a little bit of truth about you. But Christopher, I am with you on that. That gets on my nerves.
Behave, okay.
I'm sorry. I'm doped up on prednisone. Hey, but I wanted to get this guy in here real quick. He is part of a program with you, Ben, that comes on every Thursday nights. He is a leather guy. He is about what, Ben? He's been doing leather for about 2 years.
3 years.
No. He's done it 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I'm going back. Yeah, years fly when you're dying in bed all day long. He is a host and creator of Spanning the Globe podcast every Thursday night, 8/7 Central on the Wide World of Belts YouTube page. Check him out. He is also marked leather, championship re-leather. What's that, Ethan?
And a bully.
Yeah, he's a huge bully. He's a huge bully. I can get my spit off my microphone. He's a cool guy, good friend, and he's a good leather guy. And I wanted to ask him about his leather stuff. We had one of our leather makers back out that was supposed to be on here. I don't know where you went. He's probably sleeping.
It's not surprising, Mendoza.
Yeah, where are you at? You just sleeping on. Well, please welcome the program. The guy's going to give us perspective on the hobby from the group thing and from his leather. Please welcome Mark Maggard.
Thank you.
Oh wait, wrong show. My bad.
Thank you.
There we go.
Heel.
Well, you really stirred up a hornet's nest the other night, but we're not going to get into that. That's you
This is what happens when you find-
you'll do it. Yeah, you'll do it. What you've got. I'm not going to step on that because Thursday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I got to be very careful about what I say because I don't want somebody making me cry.
Yeah, Ethan Maggard.
Yeah. Sorry for technical difficulties yet. Look. Hang it, Mark. But Mark, I appreciate you coming on short notice and coming on here. I wanted to talk to you a little about. You've done leather now for 5 years.
About 5 years, yeah.
And it's really taken off for you in the past two and a half years. You've really been out there and posting and your thing with this thing. I know you were a little late coming in talking about is the belt hobby dead from a leather perspective? Is the belt hobby dead, or are you not having business? Are you getting out there constantly having to say, hey, use me for leather? Or how's your business been? How have you seen it go in the past, let's say the past 2 years? How's the market gone for your re-leathers?
It's been pretty steady. I mean, the orders have been pretty steady. It slows down a little bit, maybe a month or two lull there, but I stay busy. And then if I'm not working on leather, I get a lot of inquiries. And I have some people who will, they're window shopping and they'll come back later. If they get a belt they want to have for leather. And I've had several repeat customers. I mean, it's been pretty good. I've been blessed.
So, are you? How has business grown from the let's say the past year or 2 years? Is it? Are you constantly having steady work, or you have to advertising that I need somebody to belt? How has it grown, or is it dead to you? That's the main thing that we're wanting to know.
No, I've been pretty. The last couple of years, I've been pretty busy. I mean, it's been pretty steady. As a matter of fact, I've had to turn away business on a couple of occasions because I just,
You've been full.
Wait times are too far out, and I don't want to make people wait that long. And I'll refer them to another leather guy. I'm not selfish that way. If they have something what they want done, I don't think I can do, but I think somebody can do it better. I'll refer it to them. Or if I'm gonna be 2 or 3 months out, if they don't want to wait, I'll tell them who else they can go to. I've had to turn away business. I hate turning away business, but I don't want to anger customers.
So how is your business grown itself? Because you've invested in things. Have you invested in new tools, new benches, new stuff, better quality leather? So that would tell me if success is if you're investing into your tools to make things.
Oh yeah. I bought a snap press, which has helped me a great deal. I found a local leather guy, not local, local Oklahoma City. He's a independent leather guy, and that's who Mendoza goes to. I think the couple can't think of his name. Kevin. Dang, I'm drawing blanks on names. There's another leather guy that
O'Keefe.
Kevin O'Keefe. Thank you. Yes, Kevin O'Keefe. Sorry, Kevin.
Let us know, O'Keefe, how your leather business is.
They have some fine leather. If Tandy Leather doesn't have what I need, I go there, and I actually got my leather. Unlike these other two guys, I had to do mail order, but they have a good rapport with that leather guy. But no, I've invested in some tools. I've had to replace some tools. It's been pretty steady. I mean, if the hobby's dead, it's not on the leather side of it. There's still demand for re-leather.
There's a demand on everything because new leather guys keep coming up. New stoning people keep and they're busy. And what I've seen is a lot of these things from paint modifications like Hernandez and leather guys and things like that. It's grown and they help each other. Yeah. And if something's dead, I would see these kind of shrink up. But there's from Stokes. There's what other great leather guys are there out there? There's Maggard, AJ. Shout them out.
Northern.
There's a guy by the name of Jim Mills that watches my show. He started to pick up on leather. I get him a lot of tips. I think Ryan Stokes is giving some tips, but he's only doing it for himself. But he's learning the craft. I have a lot of people that will message me asking me for tips and tricks on and I'm not the be all the end all. I mean, everybody has their own way of doing things. Mine aren't necessarily right. They just work for me. But there's a lot of guys that are interested in getting into the leather business. There's a lot of guys that get, they're interested in doing restoning. I see more and more stone guys. We've had a need for that, and that's starting to pick up. I mean, it's just hustle and bustle in the hobby, as far as I'm concerned.
We run and we started this page together, and it's ultimately your page. What have you seen as far as engagement to the questions? And I know you were out with doing life things and wasn't watching the show like you should have been, and not and because you're supposed to be all about the hobby.
They didn't have a signal in the gymnasium. I'm sorry.
What is your take on the engagement of your page? Has it been steady, or does it keep growing?
I think it's grown a little bit. We've grown in members. We've had new members. You put out a post every week welcoming new members. I mean, we have 5 to 10 new members every week.
We just had 7 today.
Yeah, 7 today. Yeah, just today. There's been a lot of good engagement. I put a post out every Tuesday and Wednesday to showcase either just a regular belt on any belt in your collection on Tuesdays. Wednesday's World Title Wednesday. Feature you can use either a world title from a promotion, or you can if you have a custom belt you have done or something, just anything unique or unusual, you can do that. Post that. We had the Friday sales posts. Those are pretty popular because everybody's wanting to sell a belt. I got a couple I try to sell because I'm trying to make room for a couple others I'd rather have. A lot of good conversation, a lot of good comments in the posts. And I get a lot of people from the group that'll hit me up for questions, things like that. Ask me who I would recommend for either a maker or leather or just any aspect of the hobby. There's a lot of questions. It's a lot of communication. It's really good. And that's why I created the group, just for the socialization. We get a lot of socialization in the group.
Gamer said, "Did you grab the snap press he told you about?"
Not yet. It's in my cart. I have not ordered it yet. I'm getting ready to.
Okay. The question that I wanted from yours, and these guys have answered is here, is why do you think there's ones out there saying the belt hobby is dead? What do you think their motive is? Why do you think you're saying it? Do you see it? Can you not see it? What's your take?
I've thought about that, and we talked about it, and I've talked about some other people, and I just think that the people who believe the hobby's dead are people who no longer can gain anything from it, for whatever reason. They just have nothing to gain from it, and I can't answer what that thing is. I just I don't know whether it's to make money or to become a big dog, or I don't know. I don't know. But I can tell you the majority of the hobby would disagree with that statement.
I think so too. I wanted to share some of these comments real quick that I had got on the post that couldn't watch the show. They'll watch it. But I had a person put this opinion on one of the posts. Belt collecting when it comes to real belts is dead, in his opinion. It's been as it's been in 20 years. Let me read that again. Belt collecting when it comes to real belts, and when we're talking about real belts, we're talking about the makers that make them one in the ring or probably US made. Has been as dead as it's been in about 20 years. But replica belt collecting is much more popular now, and it's pushing the belt legs down the drain. Vincent had made a comment on the post. It's not dead, but decreased because of belt sales in the economy or the flood of the belts. People have less money for entertainment and hobbies at this particular point. This was another book, and I wanted to get this gentleman on because he always gets pretty good takes, and I'm not one that's doesn't want to hear somebody's opinion or doesn't want to hear somebody's hold on, let me get some medicine. I like to hear everybody's take on stuff. I'm not just closed-minded. But how do you say the first name? Juany? Junani Silverhand? If I'm saying that wrong, I apologize.
Wani? Like Wani?
Okay. Okay, but he says expensive belt collecting is dead. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. It's honestly what makes the hobby suck so bad. The overly expensive belts and elitism surrounding it. On top of scalpers trying to scam people out of money when they're just trying to collect beautiful belts with minimal BS. Can't elitism and scammers who only scam because elite prices are so high. It's just scamming, trying to get on to the game without actually contributing to the hobby or supporting it. That I can agree with it. There's too many folks that try to make money off of belts versus them enjoying the issue right there. Now, I can agree with that. The part where I probably don't agree with the price of a belt. If a price of a belt is expensive, like a Reggie, I mean, the market kind of sets that price, and what it's worth. But I do agree with him that there is elitism out there, and I can't stand that. If you want a group that's part of only has this, and it's only a part of this, then that's perfectly fine too. That's their right to do that. But the elitism I don't like is when you should only have this belt, or you should. Why do you want them boots? You should be clearing collecting the only real belts, this, that, and the other. I don't like that and looking down on anything.
One statement, I'm glad you brought that up. There's one statement that echoes in my mind constantly. I've heard this quite a while back, but the statement I remember hearing is, if you can't afford these $4,000 or $5,000 belts, you don't need to be in the hobby. And I think that's the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard. That's like if you have a Mazda 6 and you can't afford a Mercedes or a BMW, you don't need to be in the car club.
You can't drive.
Yeah, there you go.
And then there was a great comment into these things, and I think they agreed on to the part. Bootlegs have probably plateaued over the last few years due to the market and due to shop belts becoming so much better. The point is, there's no need to get upset about elitism in the hobbies, because they are what they are, and they'll stay what they are, and they won't never change. You can go and collect replicas or bootlegs, whichever you want. Either way, different strokes for different folks, and anybody can do with whatever they want with their money. That I completely agree with.
Me too.
There was some valid points on that, and then I wanted to share another one that was sent to me with this person had on the stuff that wanted to share their thoughts. I weren't being able to be on. He said this was somebody kind of new to the hobby. I see the belt hobby out there in categories. There's who did we just out there in categories. There's legendary belts, there's Relicans, JMARs, Ring War stuff, ETCs. Those are mostly impossible to collect nowadays due to their price and market. Most are already in private collections and are priced out of the market. Maybe 30 people around the world own these ring use belts privately. That part of the hobby is just about dead, because most of them are holding on to their stuff unless you have a ton load of money. I can agree with that point of it. Then he says, then you have your boots, unofficial replicas made all over the world, from price ranges from crap to immaculate. This has been the backbone of the hobby, he says, for years. But everyone's experience with different makers has ranged from great to horrible. That's part of the hobby, and I can agree with it's part of any hobby. And really enjoyed it. And the little drama that Civil, I guess he says, adds to fun. I don't like any of it, but I think it's on. He says he thinks it's on the decline for a couple reasons. First, the category of the belts, shop belts, over the past couple of years, due to designs, qualities, have become extremely popular. Well, that would say that it's not in the decline. And they are plentiful, most good quality, and they're worth what they work for what they are. The fan base who wants these belts is young, and money is the issue. Hard to drop $2,000 on a classic Shields Winged Eagle when someone can get a shop belt for a fraction. Well, they're totally different quality. That's why one's priced that way. And then body slam someone on it. Who cares if it breaks? The companies don't. He says the belt hobby isn't dead. It's changing and evolving, correct? I think for some who have carried the hobby for years on, think maybe it's in decline. We'll see a rise in the shop belt collectors. That's what I see a rise in. That's true. Mm-hmm. And it will come in full circle again, where you see these young collectors learn the history of the belts and want something more prestigious. That's true. And that's what brings people into the hobby. Is you've got ones that are do shop belts. They're like, well, I want something that doesn't shop belt, or I want a little bit better quality than shop belts. And that's what brings them in. The same thing that brought people in with Nick talked about earlier with those NFL belts, these hockey belts. That's bringing a lot of people into the hobby too that didn't realize that, man, you can get wrestling belts this way, and they're exactly what's in the ring kind of thing. Any of you guys' thoughts on what was said there?
Yeah, I agree. A lot of good statements there. I mean, there's different tiers. I was thinking, not to go down this road of watch collecting, right? There's different, like, just look at Rolex. Just Rolex is one thing. there's different levels. There's like the Paul Newman Daytona, right? The Holy Grail. Like there's those ring used belts that like Conrad has. That totally different level. And to the normal person, the layman, they look at that and say, "What's this shop Ryan here versus the one this guy Conrad has?" It's the same thing, right? No, it's not, because we're collectors. We know. I like to stay in the realm of the. I'd rather have more belts that are at a certain price point than very few. And a lot of people disagree. I'd say most people like I'd rather have few belts that are super high quality. I like to have all different stuff because I remember like the NWA World Class, all these other things. I watch a lot of different wrestling. AWA, Ben, I got my AWA stuff. I know you're an AWA guy. So yeah, a lot of those statements were excellent. So I commend those. I agree with most of those points.
Ben?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just how it's. You said it in there. The hobby's evolved. It's in a different zone now, as opposed to it was in times past. The market's saturated, that it's slowing down. I've slowed down on my collection. I've been picking here, picking there, that US title. Remember we discussed that. It's a general summary of how it's starting to become as far as hobby goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you see
Mark?
something, you grab it. If you see
Yeah.
something, you get it.
I think there's something for everybody in the hobby, and I like the fact that they're starting to expand into other niches, like you got the NCAA belts, you got the NFL, you got the Major League Baseball, and they're getting out there in the mainstream now. Most people did not realize there was a belt hobby. You could actually get these belts until they see these on television now at the college games or the conference championship games. They give those out. They give them at the national championship game. NFL, you see all these belts out there, and so it's starting to get out in the mainstream. It's starting to bring a whole new group of people into the hobby.
Yeah,
And
Austin, hit up X-Men belts right here. He'll help you get something at an affordable price.
There you go.
Go ahead with what you were saying, Mark.
Well, and I also want to go back to this that not everybody makes the same amount of money. Not everybody has the same interests. You and I are both into the old school NWA, WCCW, Mid Atlantic stuff like that, territories. You got the younger crowd that's in the WWF, WWE, the Attitude Era, all that kind of stuff. And, I collect belts that you can't get on shop. I get the old school belts through the makers. You call them bootlegs all you want to, but those belts aren't circulating anywhere else. So I think that, get what you can afford, get what you can live with, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks. My collection's for my enjoyment, not anybody else's. I like to show it off, and I'm sure a lot of people don't want to see the same old belts I show off every week on my show. But those are for my enjoyment, and that's what I have to show. And I'm pretty much at the end of my collection. Although I did order another set of plates for a belt I wasn't planning on buying, but I happened to see them on there. I thought I might want those, and I'll tell you guys about it in private later. But
You're never done. You're never done.
well,
never.
I keep saying that till the next belt pops up.
Yeah, man.
That goes for everybody in here watching tonight. Never said you're done.
Yeah.
That itch scratches, and
Right.
you always,
Never.
And I got Jim
see.
Mills to thank for that, because he posted pictures of those plates, or he sent me pictures of those plates. I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm in love.
But that's the beauty of every hobby. When you get enough in it and you got your money in it, be smart about it by selling that one or trading that one and move your pieces around. Just don't expect when you bought a belt for 1,000 for you to get 1,000 of it. You're not going to get it. Always remember unless it's one of your grails, remember when you buy a belt, think when you buy it, what am I going to sell it for? Am I going to be mad that, let's say you buy one for $320. Am I going to be mad if I have to sell it for $250?
Mm-hmm.
That'll help you with your purchase too.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think, whatever's going with a hobby, I got into this hobby in 2000 where the only place you could go, and I got spoiled because when you got the quality, it was immaculate, was a Reggie. And then when you got the figs, it was trash, and I couldn't. I couldn't because of the quality was just completely different. It spoiled you. But what I will say is what overseas makers in Pakistan, and you got to give them credit at working hard, has brought us to where we're getting better quality belts. We're getting stuff today that I would have killed for in 2000, that I would have killed for at a kid. Even these $150 terrible belts on eBay, you would have killed to have that as a kid. the
cattle bearing,
quality has
$100
become.
cattle bearing belt.
Yeah. And the pricing. These makers have said, well, now going in the hobby, these SD belts are becoming less and less bought because everybody's experiencing HD quality, what it's supposed to be like. And when I say HD, I'm talking about what it looks like and it's supposed to look like in the ring use belts. And they're like, well, wait a minute. People are wanting this. And I think even though people are getting the SD quality and they're crapping on it, I'm like, look, it looks fine for SD. You're mad at it because it doesn't look like what you're seeing other people have, and that's HD, and they're not understanding it. But what has happened in the hobby is they're like, well, wait a minute. I need to start focusing more on my HD stuff and putting that and figure out how to get the cost that down because that's what the quality you're wanting, and people complain less about it when they get it. So SD is kind of going away, and what's filling the need for HD is because the people want depth and etching. So what's replacing SD that I see is CNC. If you want a cheap alternative version and you want some clear, it's not etching because it's CNC. If you want some clear depth and definition and to see it really good, then you go with CNC. If you want to step up, then you go to that HD. But what you can't say is all of this is pushing the hobby into making things better and great. Look what we got from Colin by a guy working for 10 years at trying to work on a relationship with Crumrine and has pushed the hobby and got killed on it because, everybody wants to be jealous on it. We didn't really get killed on it, but there's those jealous people that went out it and, oh, that's not aggro. He pushed the hobby to where if you contacted Crumrine before he made the partnership with it, it was like $13,000 to get one of those made by a silversmith by the original company. Now you can get one with the cast pieces that they've given him from Crumrine to put onto that, being made by a silversmith, made by the same materials and whatever, and the same type of leather and leather thread, $4,000. And it's immaculate. And it's nothing like when you played it with sterling silver and you played it with gold and played, over top of that and how it looks. That took it to another lobby. All this stuff and all this competition has taken the hobby to a new level. So it's not dead. And I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited to see these groups grow. Sorry, my medicine's wearing off and I'm getting kind of slurry, but and I'm excited to what it can be. But I wanted to share you guys' final thoughts before I let you go because we're right at the 2-hour mark. Ben, what's your final thought on all this?
Thank you for having me.
Oh, anytime. I appreciate your time.
A great conversation piece. And it needed to be talked about. Basically, the hobby's not dead. It's not dead. That's basically all I have to say. We've all said enough tonight to make it convincing enough that it's not. Enjoy the hobby, take part of it. There's plenty out there to see. That's it, man. Live it better than you found it.
Okay, you're talking to somebody else. Mark, what's your thought? Final thought?
The hobby is to enjoy. Don't go in the poorhouse to get a belt. Get what you can afford and what you can live with, and don't worry about what anybody else thinks about because that's your belt. That's for your enjoyment, not theirs.
All right. And Nick, who has finally come out of hiding to be on the program, we got to have a talk sports show too. But what you got for me?
Yeah, I got to catch a flight here, but I'm kidding. So remember this, everybody. The hobby.
Show's not over, guys. I'm sorry. Show's not over, guys. I got after these guys leave, I got 5 more minutes of stuff. So don't everybody leave. Show's not over. We're just getting their final thought. God, great show, guys. Wait a minute.
Yeah, jeez. Now let's my train of thought. Now, remember this, everybody. My advice is the hobby is a hobby. It is not your life. Don't make it your life. Don't let it affect your life financially. Don't let it affect your friendships or stress you out. Ben, Mark, you guys do a great job, contrary to stupid opinions. You guys do a great job of keeping it chill, keeping it mellow, and it's you guys are friends of mine, and I enjoy talking with you outside of this and things like that. So keep the hobby. Keep it something that is fun and mellow and chill for you and makes you forget about all the crazy shit you're dealing with work and life. And you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. Build yourself a community. I wouldn't have known none of these guys ever went for the belt hobby. And these guys have become, close friends. They know a lot about me personally. I mean, we chat and video chat and group chat and all that kind of stuff. Build yourself a community. Get involved in stuff. Know guys, because you'll need their help with things, or you'll need their advice, or when you're selling something or moving something. Build that community. Be in a hobby and take it for what it's worth. It's a hobby, and enjoy it. I want to thank you, Ben, for coming on. I want to thank you, Nick. I want to thank you, Mark. I want to thank Ethan for being on here. I appreciate it so much for you guys being on. And we appreciate it. You guys have a great night. And let's give them a hand. Thank you, Ben. And make sure you check out Mark. What have you got coming up on you guys' show for Thursday night? What you got? The topics coming up?
Well, I'm not real sure. We're going to talk a Royal Rumble, obviously. Some of the key things from that, and then some of my plans have changed because of some events that took place this week. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And tune in for that Thursday night, 8/7 Central, Spinning the Globe podcast on the Wide World of Belts YouTube page. We will see you guys then. Thank you three so very much. I love you guys. You guys are the best.
Thank you.
For me, the belt hobby is not dead. Don't let folks ruin your joy. Don't let anybody bring you down. Don't, if you disagree with somebody, disagree with some respect and some humility. Don't get caught up in drama and sensationalism, and people that clickbait, or that people that just want to use you, or that people just want to talk. It's a hobby, and remember, it's a hobby, and always put a hobby where it is. You put it away and you go about your life. If you live around something 24/7, you're constantly going to be at it, and something's going to piss you off. Something's going to blow off. When you're around family a whole lot, all the time, what happens? You butt heads. But if you keep the principles of keeping it a hobby, keeping it fun, being respectful, sharing, and being involved, you'll always have a great time. And remember to stay in those groups that are fun, enjoyment, and help everybody out. Bring new people into the hobby. Support all the podcasts. Support the shows. Watch the shows, because that's what the hobby is about, and what it's for. These belts represent our childhood. You brought into it, and you immediately saw those belts, and you wanted them, and you were excited about them, and that's what this hobby is about, is the belts and the memories they bring with you from a childhood. That's what they do for me. When I look at these belts and I look at this Winged Eagle, I remember Hulk Hogan fighting for it, and him against Warrior. When I look at the tags, I see Demolition and the Hart Foundation. And when I see the Intercontinental title, I think of Honky Tonk Man and Mr. Perfect. When I look at the big gold, I see Ric Flair, and I see Magnum TA with the U.S. belt, and the TV title, I see Iron Anderson. When I look at the tag, the NWA tag belt, I see the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, the Road Warriors. When I see the WCW title, I see Luger and all of those, and watching NWA wrestling. That's what these things do for us. And remember that, and don't let anybody ruin your joy, because there's going to be people out there that's what they live for. They have no lives. They live on this, and they want to destroy your fun no matter what. And it's not against you personally. It's just because that's what they do. They have no life. They have nothing of value to offer anybody. Before I add my final thought, I have to get into this real quick about showing our picture of the week, as we do every week. So roll it! Our picture of the week this week comes to us from a great guy. He is the Bojangles champion, Mr. J.Z. Graham. This is the picture of the week. Look at that. These belts are made by Top Rope Belts. I have that TV title that is right there. This is Justin Zimmerman. He is the Bojangles champion. Make sure you look him up on Facebook, on Twitter. Follow him. He is the actual Bojangles champion. They presented him that belt. We had an interview with him here before. It was a crappy interview because of the quality, where there was some storm coming out from a tropical storm or whatever, and we kept going in and out. So we're going to get him back on the program because he's a great guy. If you want an absolutely positive person in the hobby, and all their post is about belts, about the hobby, and for so much greatness, Justin Zimmer is the guy. JZ Graham, the Bojangles champion. Look him up. This is his picture of the week. Look at that. Absolutely. There is the concept NWA that's in the big gold. Don't get it mistaken for the one that Leather Rebels made that has the NWA actual logo on it. That was made for the NWA when Billy had it. They're completely different. This one's actually the concept one found in the big gold belt. Beautiful belt. Look at the stunning United States Heavyweight Championship belt there and the NWA TV title. Absolutely spectacular. I love how they're just laid across there, and he's enjoying some YouTube while he's just looking at his belts. That is a fabulous picture, and that is picture of the week. And Justin Zimmerman, we thank you for that. That's absolutely spectacular belt. Absolutely. I absolutely love that belt. It's pretty cool. But hey, you guys, we've hit over 1,000 members. We're going to give another belt giveaway soon, but you got to be part of the program. You got to be subscribed. So make sure if you like the discussion tonight, you'd like more discussions about the belt hobby, and maybe even you want to be a part of it, you got to first subscribe and then tune in each week and be a part of the show, because this show is for you, about the belt hobby, and helping you all belt hobby related things. We got some great interviews still coming up. We got some good reviews still coming up. We have a lot of them still online that you can go look at in the video section of our YouTube page in there, and check that out. And then make sure you go on over to, because I give away stuff on Instagram, Double Dropkick Podcast, and on X. I give it away, DDK Podcast on X. Make sure you check those things out as well. But this is what we were talking about, and I forgot to play this video before we started, but this was what it was all about tonight. That's what we discussed tonight. I was supposed to play that at the beginning and I forgot. But if you're watching this later, add your comments down below what you think. I respond to everybody's comments. I don't care if it's 5 of them, 2 of them, 100 of them, I forget 1,000 of them. I'll respond to each and every one. I want to know what your opinion is on the belt hobby dead, why it's dead. And if it's dead like you think, to me, to the Conmen, to the ones that are trying to scam or only use, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about this. And if you'd like more topics like this that are kind of controversial, that you talk with appropriately, you talk with positively and one-on-one. You may disagree with things, but you're discussing things. If you'd like to see more like that, or if you'd like to see topics that you want discussed, drop them down below and let us know what you think and what you want. And we'll absolutely talk about that and give it a topic, and don't be surprised when I reach out if you say, hey, you want to come on and talk about that. I like to talk about everybody in the hobby. I did want to share this. I know Nick from Big Boys Belts has Nick, give me a thumbs up. You're still in the back. You have a belt raffle coming up too, right? Or you have one going now, right? So go over to Big Boys Belts. He's got coming up. X-Men group. It's in the X-Men group. He'll probably post a link to it in Big Boys Belt, but he's got one coming up for a raffle there. So get up with Nick about that. Go over to the X-Men Belt and make sure you're subscribed there. not subscribed, or joined there so that you can be a part of that and get that. There's also another one going on in pinfall title belts done by, it's made by 10 pinfall title belts, but Zach Hunter Lawson has this one here. And this is a beautiful belt. It's made by Pinfall Title Belts. It's HD. The big goal there. He's got, I think he said 20 some slots or 30 slots, but it's $16 a slot to get you that belt right there, which is made by Pinfall Title Belts. Absolutely beautiful belt. This post is in Pinfall Title Belts, or you can hit up Zach Hunter Lawson. He is also the admin of Inner Circle, and check him out over there. He's got that. That is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful belt that he is doing there. I think we'll save some of the other stuff for maybe next week when we talk about, we'll talk about the Hall of Fame, some idiot comments that are people that are making, and things like that. But yeah, we'll save that stuff so I can let you guys get out of here on that. But make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll cover some more topics. We've got a former belt member in the hobby that we're trying to get on, Brandon. He's a wrestler now. We're going to get him to come on, talk about his love for the belt hobby, and then how he got into becoming an actual wrestler. We've got that. We've got some more Instagram guys coming up, so we'll have fun with them. It'll be cool to talk with all those guys and have fun with them. It'll be a fun time each and every week. We do this each and every week, and we're so appreciative. So please like and subscribe, share this, and tune in each week to be a part of the program. Your comments will always be shown. Your comments will always be put up unless it's vulgar. But your opinion is valued here. But just remember, the belt hobby is what you make it. Don't let anybody kill your belt hobby. Don't let anybody ruin it. Don't let anybody have your fun. And ignore all that and put yourself in groups and put yourselves in positions to where you'll always be happy. So I can't wait to see you guys next week. It's going to be another fun show. We'll cover some of those topics, some of the bonehead things that Ricochet said. The Hall of Fame, Triple H going into the Hall of Fame. Dumb comments on page. We'll block out the who they are, but we'll show some of these hateful comments and dumb comments, things that people say, so that you can be aware of everything going on. And then we'll have a scammers report next week. Got a few things you got to watch out for there. So we'll take a part of that and hit all that. But we've got an exciting time. Got some great things coming. We'll have a new program coming up here, hopefully in the spring on the DAV Network. We're excited to announce there. But I'm glad that you guys had a part of this discussion. If you want us to continue this discussion, hey, let us know. Let us know what else you want us to talk about. But for now, I thank you so much for joining in. I thank you so much for watching. And come back next week. We'll see you then. Until then, make sure you stay kind, stay humble, stay safe, and we'll see you right back here Tuesday night on Double Drop Kick. Good night, everybody.